hindsight's 2020, after going through this experience, is there anything that you would have changed to your approach or how you executed the event that you'll be taking in as you head into Startup Month?
I mean, I wish we found Fondy sooner.
Again, we would not pay her to say this.
Yes, not at all. But I think the thing that I wish I'd known insight, right? And I really encourage folks to think about is, that back end functionality piece that you really truly need to produce a quality and valuable event and overall experience for your attendees. Because again, like that's not something that I put necessarily a lot of emphasis on when we were doing this whole evaluation of different platforms the first time around. You don't know what you don't know, right? And so I think I am so excited that, we have a platform that is going to be able to provide that for us. So I'm just excited to get creative, like even more creative than, what we were able to do and produce for Convergence. And I think it's hard to facilitate certain experiences, right? And recreate things. And I hate that word because I don't like to recreate. You can't recreate a in-person experience into virtual. You can reimagine it, right? And so reimagining certain experiences and activations like the pitch competition that we talked about, right? It's already difficult to reimagine that. But the way that the platform operates, we were able to very easily create that experience that we wanted for our attendees, right? And I think one of my favorite features of the platform is the backstage. And I could go on and on about that. But there was not a sort of limit of folks who can be part of the backstage, right? And we all know for folks who produce events, there's things that are happening in the backstage, right? That need to stay backstage and aren't necessarily front and center to the audience. And, in a lot of, that piece or that component isn't entirely there in, other platforms that are out there. And so it allows for a really seamless experience, which is so important, to attendees, because the last thing you want are people popping in unexpectedly onto the screen, right? Popping out like, commentary in the background. And we experienced some of those funny things during Startup Month last year, but I'm excited not to have to worry about that, right? Because a lot of what you're doing in the background in event production is like planning for, it's like you plan for the worst and hope for the best, right? And so you don't have to worry about the platform being the challenge, right? Or, it's the solution.
Yes.
Right? So I think more than anything, like I'm excited to go into Startup Month feeling really confident that like I have the solution and that's not the challenge that I need to worry about. It's, everything else.
Yeah, and I'm really happy you brought that up because I'm thinking back to my Zoom days, and my number one anxiety was Zoom. I'm like, what can they see? What can't they see? You don't feel like there's that barrier between what you're doing and the audience. And that's really uncomfortable because you want to feel like you have time to prep, to share your screen, to pull in speakers. To your point, just all of those